History has a cruel way of repeating itself, and when it does in the ugliest of forms, the scars left behind become deeper each time. For over a decade, Kirk Frost's name has been tied to scandal after scandal, his reputation marked by whispers of lies, infidelity, and betrayal. His life, and his marriage to Rashida, have been dissected not just by blogs and gossip sites, but by millions of viewers who have watched their story play out on the screen. Every stumble, every secret, every tear has unfolded in public view, turning their relationship into both a cautionary tale and a spectacle. From the infamous DNA test drama to secret children and exposed side relationships, Kirk has been no stranger to controversy. And every time the storm came, it nearly shattered his marriage. Rashida, humiliated and wounded, somehow found the strength to stand by his side. Her decision often left fans divided. Some saw her as resilient, a woman unwilling to let go of her family. Others criticized her as someone too forgiving, allowing betrayal to define her love story. The debate around whether her loyalty was admirable or misguided has followed her for years. Yet this latest betrayal feels different. This time, it wasn't just quiet gossip whispered in dark corners or unverified rumors passed from blog to blog. It came in the form of receipts, screenshots, FaceTimes, and whispers of something even more devastating that could destroy everything Rashida has built. The timing, the exposure, and the impact strike harder than before. Rashida is not just a wife who has been wronged repeatedly. She is a businesswoman, a brand, and a mother whose reputation stands on the line once again. The question now looms larger than ever. Will Rashida finally walk away for good? Or is history doomed to repeat itself once more? It started quietly, almost like background noise in a crowded room. A small gossip page hinted late at night that something big was coming, claiming they held receipts that would ruin Kirk Frost's image forever. At first, many dismissed it as attention-seeking. Kirk's name had been tied to baseless rumors before, and most assumed this was more of the same. But by the next morning, the whispers transformed into an explosion when screenshots surfaced for everyone to see. The leaked texts were simple in appearance, yet devastating in implication. In one, a message read, "When are you coming back? I miss the way you touched me last night." The alleged reply, credited to Kirk, said, "I'll see you when I get back from this trip. Don't say anything. You know how she get." These words immediately struck a nerve with fans because they lined up with reality. Kirk had just been spotted at a music event in Houston, a trip he made without Rashida. The timing was far too precise to ignore. Fans quickly dissected the leaks. Though the contact name was hidden, the timestamp, message style, and tone felt authentic. Then came the attached photo, blurry but enough to spark outrage. It showed a hotel mirror selfie, with a shadowy reflection many insisted looked like Kirk seated on the edge of the bed. For critics, this was the smoking gun. The screenshots spread like wildfire, dominating Twitter threads, Instagram stories, and YouTube breakdowns. Bloggers posted side-by-side comparisons, pointing out details they believed proved the leaks were real. The narrative shifted from rumor to scandal almost instantly. While skeptics raised questions about Photoshop or fabrication, the original source of the leak escalated matters by teasing more evidence was on the way. What began as a vague threat had now turned into a full-blown storm. Rashida once again found her name trending, dragged into humiliation she never asked for. And with every repost, every heated debate, the pressure mounted. Piece by piece, the timeline told its story. Kirk was allegedly entangled in yet another affair. And this time, the internet refused to let the fire die down. The moment the screenshots went public, social media erupted like gasoline meeting fire. Within minutes, Twitter feeds and Instagram comment sections were flooded with reactions, each one sharper than the last. Fans tagged Rashida endlessly, filling her latest posts with messages that ranged from sympathetic encouragement to harsh ultimatums. Some pleaded with her to finally walk away, writing things like, "Queen, you deserve better. Don't let him humiliate you again." Others were less forgiving, demanding, "How many times will you let him do this before enough is enough?" The debate quickly split into two camps. On one side were those who admired Rashida's strength, arguing that staying with Kirk all these years had shown resilience and loyalty. On the other side were critics who saw her loyalty as misplaced, claiming she had allowed herself to become the face of a toxic cycle. The divide only fueled the frenzy, as each side tried to outshout the other in viral threads and heated comment battles. Memes popped up almost instantly. Screenshots of Kirk's alleged texts were turned into jokes, captions, and trending hashtags. YouTube commentators rushed to upload analysis videos, while gossip blogs recycled the story with headlines designed to sting. By the end of the first day, Rashida's name was trending nationwide, not for her businesses or accomplishments, but for her pain. What made the storm even more brutal was the merciless nature of online culture. Social media has no pause button and no sympathy for private heartbreak. Every detail became public property. Every speculation amplified 1,000 times over. Fans who once cheered for Rashida's growth now dissected her personal choices as if they were plot twists in a drama series. In the court of public opinion, forgiveness was weakness, and silence was guilt. For Rashida, the backlash wasn't just noise on a screen. It was a relentless reminder that her marriage, once again, was no longer hers alone. The chaos of social media had already begun to spill into the real world. But for Rashida, the breaking point came while filming. She was seated under the bright lights of her confessional, makeup touched up, mic clipped neatly, ready to answer routine questions about her businesses and her marriage. Then her phone buzzed. At first, she ignored it, assuming it was another harmless notification. But the vibration didn't stop. One message after another flooded in, each ping growing heavier than the last. Curiosity gave way to dread as she finally glanced down. What she saw made her entire body stiffen. The leaked screenshots, the same ones already spreading online, were now sitting directly in her hands, sent by friends, fans, and even strangers. Her face changed instantly. The practiced smile faded, replaced by shock, then a silent, hollow stare. The cameras kept rolling as her eyes welled with tears. She tried to gather herself, dabbing at her face with trembling fingers, but it was clear something had shifted. Her usual composure, her ability to mask pain in front of the world, slipped away. Production staff exchanged uneasy glances. This wasn't part of the script. This wasn't stage drama for ratings. Something real and raw was unraveling right before their eyes, and for the first time, the set fell into a stunned silence. While Rashida's discovery left the set shaken, the fallout escalated when Kirk himself walked into filming. Usually he carried an air of denial and defiance whenever accusations surfaced, brushing them off with excuses or half-hearted explanations. But this time, his demeanor was different. The weight of the leak, the undeniable screenshots, and the public storm seemed to break him before anyone even asked a question. As soon as cameras turned his way, Kirk's voice cracked. He wasn't smooth or calculated, he was desperate. His words tumbled out, almost incoherent at times, as he begged for understanding. He pleaded with Rashida not to give up on him, swearing that the texts were being twisted, that the situation wasn't what it looked like. His hands shook as he tried to wipe his face, tears streaming freely, a sight the crew rarely, if ever, had captured from him before. Producers exchanged quick looks but made no move to stop the cameras. They knew what was happening was television gold, raw, unscripted, and emotionally explosive. The set became heavy with silence except for Kirk's sobs and Rashida's quiet, stony stare. For viewers, it was an uncharacteristic collapse. A man long seen as manipulative and dismissive now crumbling under the pressure of his own actions. Yet to some, his display felt more like performance than sincerity. Was this genuine regret or another tactic to pull Rashida back into forgiveness? Whatever the truth, one thing was clear. The cameras were capturing every second of Kirk Frost unraveling in real time. To understand the intensity of this latest scandal, one must remember the history that came before it. For Kirk Frost, betrayal isn't an isolated misstep. It's a pattern that has defined his storyline for years. The most infamous chapter came during the Jasmine Washington saga, when a secret relationship led to the birth of a child. That scandal not only devastated Rashida, but also forced Kirk into the humiliating position of undergoing a DNA test on national television. The moment became one of the most unforgettable in love and hip-hop Atlanta history, cementing Kirk's image as the man who could not be trusted. The echoes of that storyline haunt every new rumor. Fans remember the tears Rashida shed, the years of rebuilding, and the emotional toll that was broadcast to millions. It's why this new round of leaked texts feels so much heavier. For the audience, it isn't just another mistake. It's a painful repeat of a script they've seen before. The cast, too, couldn't stay silent. Erica Mena was among the first to speak out, throwing sharp commentary online about patterns of betrayal and the danger of normalizing infidelity. Sierra Gates expressed concern for Rashida's well-being, noting how difficult it is for a woman to juggle public embarrassment while trying to protect her family. Even Carly Redd, never one to shy away from adding fuel to drama, chimed in with her trademark mix of shade and truth, reminding everyone that receipts don't lie. Their voices amplified the conversation, shaping it into more than just gossip. Cast members drew connections to past scandals, pointing out how Rashida had been here before, and questioning how many times a woman can endure the same heartbreak. The collective reaction wasn't just pity. It was frustration, even anger, at watching history repeat itself in such a predictable and painful way. This chorus of opinions added another layer of pressure on Rashida. It wasn't just fans or strangers online demanding answers, it was her peers, her colleagues, and in some ways her friends. And as the scandal grew louder, the weight of her past collided with her present, leaving her future hanging in uncertainty once again. In the years following Kirk's earlier scandals, Rashida poured her energy into something far more lasting than reality television drama, her empire. She rebuilt herself not just as a wife or a cast member, but as a businesswoman determined to prove she could thrive despite the chaos. Her boutiques gained popularity, her fashion lines turned heads, and she became a recognizable face in both entrepreneurship and entertainment. To many fans, Rashida wasn't just surviving, she was winning. Every new venture felt like a declaration that betrayal would not define her story. But scandals have a way of poisoning even the strongest foundations. The latest leak didn't just threaten her marriage, it risked unraveling the brand she had worked so tirelessly to protect. When your personal life is inseparable from your public image, humiliation becomes a business liability. Companies that once celebrated her as a role model now hesitated. Rumors of sponsorships being quietly paused began circulating, and whispers suggested that some investors were reevaluating partnerships. Social media only made matters worse. Comment sections under her business posts became battlegrounds, with critics mocking her personal choices while others rushed to defend her strength. For a brand built on confidence, independence, and empowerment, this public spectacle struck at the heart of her identity. Rashida wasn't just fighting for her marriage anymore, she was fighting for her credibility as a boss. Still, her resilience couldn't be ignored. Even in the midst of chaos, supporters rallied behind her, buying her products as a show of solidarity, posting words of encouragement, and reminding her that her worth extended beyond Kirk's mistakes. Yet the question remained, how much damage had already been done? In the world of branding, perception is everything, and Rashida's public humiliation risked becoming a shadow she couldn't easily outrun. When the cameras followed Kirk and Rashida back home, the tension was unbearable. The walls that once held memories of family and triumph now echoed with anger and distrust. Rashida's patience, already stretched thin by years of public humiliation, snapped the moment she faced him behind closed doors. The calm composure she displayed in front of the world was gone, replaced by raw fury. Her voice cut through the silence like glass shattering. She demanded answers, pressing Kirk on the leaked texts, the photo, and the whispers of yet another betrayal. At first, he stumbled, offering excuses that sounded more like rehearsed lines than truth. Each word only fueled her rage. When he tried to downplay the situation, Rashida's anger boiled over. In a burst of emotion, she hurled a glass against the wall, the crash reverberating through the room as fragments scattered across the floor. Kirk, caught off guard, tried to calm her, but his pleas fell on deaf ears. Rashida's words were sharp and unrelenting. She reminded him of the years she had sacrificed, the humiliation she had endured, and the countless times she had defended him when no one else would. The betrayal wasn't just personal anymore, it was public, and she refused to carry that weight silently. What made the confrontation even more intense was the fact that the cameras were still rolling. Crew members captured every tear, every shout, every broken pause. This wasn't scripted drama. It was a marriage in free fall, unraveling in real time before the eyes of an audience that had already chosen sides. Just when the scandal seemed like it couldn't escalate further, the internet delivered another blow, this time in the form of a video. A screen-recorded FaceTime clip began circulating. And unlike the text messages that could be debated or dismissed, this footage carried the weight of visual proof. The video, grainy but clear enough, showed Kirk lounging shirtless in what appeared to be a hotel room. The lighting was dim, but the outline of his tattoos left little room for denial. On the other side of the screen was the woman at the center of the rumors, smiling as she teased him with intimate remarks. Kirk's laughter, his tone, even the way he leaned in close to the camera felt damning. At one point, he allegedly whispered, "You know I miss you. Don't trip, I'll make it up to you when I'm back." Those words cut like a knife, echoing the same timeline as the leaked texts. Fans who had once questioned the legitimacy of the messages now flooded the internet with the clip, dissecting it frame by frame. Blogs slowed it down, freezing moments where Kirk's face was most visible. Side-by-side comparisons with older footage confirmed what many already believed. It was him. The reaction was immediate and explosive. Hashtags exploded across Twitter. Memes of the video flooded TikTok. YouTube commentators labeled it the smoking gun, claiming there was no room left for excuses. What stung even more for Rashida was the intimacy of the moment. This wasn't just words on a screen. It was laughter, affection, and energy that belonged to her marriage being shared with another woman. For Rashida, the humiliation reached unbearable levels. Not only was her private pain public once again, but now the evidence was undeniable. Kirk's pleas of innocence carried no weight against the image of his face filling someone else's phone screen. The betrayal was no longer just gossip, it was reality captured in motion. And for millions watching, the scandal had transformed into a spectacle that couldn't be ignored. As if the texts and FaceTime clip weren't damaging enough, the scandal erupted into an entirely new level of chaos when the other woman decided to speak for herself. One evening, she went live on Instagram, instantly drawing thousands of viewers. The moment her face appeared on the screen, the comment section exploded with insults, questions, and demands for answers. Instead of hiding or denying, she leaned into the spotlight, prepared with what she called proof. She began by sharing screenshots of conversations allegedly with Kirk, messages where he reassured her that his marriage was essentially over. In one, he reportedly wrote, "We're not even like that anymore. It's just business between us now." To bolster her claims, she displayed flight confirmations and hotel bookings that aligned perfectly with Kirk's travel schedule. Daring anyone to call her a liar, the receipts didn't stop there. She claimed Kirk had told her repeatedly that Rashida was more of a business partner than a wife, framing the marriage as a front for appearances. Her words struck hard, not only for Rashida, but also for fans who had admired the couple's ability to overcome obstacles. The woman spoke with a mixture of defiance and bitterness, painting herself as someone misled by false promises. But then came the real bombshell. Toward the end of her live stream, she casually hinted that she might be pregnant. Though she didn't provide medical proof, the mere suggestion sent shockwaves through the audience. The comments section spiraled into chaos, with viewers demanding clarification, while others immediately speculated about Kirk fathering another child outside his marriage. By the time the live ended, clips had already spread across every social platform. The narrative shifted from scandal to catastrophe. Not only was Kirk accused of infidelity once again, but the possibility of another child threatened to reopen the deepest wounds from his past. For Rashida, the nightmare had taken on a haunting familiarity, leaving her, and the public, wondering if history was repeating itself in the most painful way imaginable. The scandal didn't just dominate fan conversations. It spilled into the wider celebrity sphere almost overnight. Within hours of the other woman's livestream, notable names began weighing in. Cardi B, never one to shy away from blunt commentary, tweeted that men who continually embarrass their wives deserve to be left with nothing but regrets. Her words quickly gained traction, sparking debates about whether Rashida should finally cut ties with Kirk once and for all. Not long after, 50 Cent took his usual trolling approach, posting a meme mocking Kirk's repeated scandals with the caption, "Some people just don't learn." While many laughed, others criticized the mockery, pointing out the real emotional toll on Rashida and her family. The chatter reached radio shows across the country, with DJs opening their phone lines to callers who passionately weighed in. Some urged Rashida to reclaim her power, while others questioned if love and loyalty should ever excuse such public betrayals. The most striking reaction, however, came not from celebrities but from Rashida's own household. Her son Kai posted a cryptic message on Instagram, "Sometimes you gotta protect the people you love from themselves." Though he didn't mention names, fans instantly linked it to the ongoing drama, interpreting it as a sign of his disappointment in his father. The post gained thousands of comments, many praising his maturity, while others expressed sorrow for the pain he must be feeling. Even extended family voices began stepping in. A cousin of Rashida's allegedly commented under a blog post, writing that the family had had enough of watching her humiliated. The comment was quickly deleted, but not before screenshots spread online, adding another layer of family tension to the already volatile situation. The combined effect of celebrity commentary, family reactions, and relentless fan speculation turned the scandal into a cultural talking point, far beyond the confines of reality TV. For Rashida, the pressure was no longer just personal, it was now amplified by the weight of public expectation, leaving her next move under a microscope for all to judge. The scandal quickly spilled beyond gossip blogs and social media timelines, bleeding directly into the industry that helped build Kirk and Rashida's brand. Several companies quietly hit pause on collaborations with Rashida, not because of her own actions, but due to the overwhelming cloud of controversy surrounding her marriage. For business partners, the uncertainty was too high, and the risk of association too messy. Fashion lines, endorsement talks, and potential partnerships suddenly became pending review, leaving Rashida frustrated and humiliated by a situation she did not create. Behind the cameras, the production team for Love and Hip Hop faced a delicate dilemma. The drama was undeniably ratings gold, yet the rawness of Rashida's breakdown and Kirk's collapse presented ethical questions. Producers debated whether showing too much too soon would exploit the family beyond repair or whether holding back could dull the storylines. Explosive impact. At the center of that decision was Mona Scott-Young, the franchise's powerhouse producer. Insiders revealed she was personally overseeing the footage, carefully weighing which pieces would make it into the final cut. Rumors swirled that she intended to stretch the scandal across multiple episodes, each ending with a cliffhanger more dramatic than the last. For now, the cameras kept rolling, the footage locked, and the audience left bracing for impact. Just when it seemed like Kirk's scandal had reached its peak, Rashida shifted the entire narrative with a move no one expected. In a tense sit-down, filmed late at night with production crews still trailing the family, she brought out what she called her receipts. Instead of relying on rumors or leaks, Rashida produced a folder filled with documents that appeared to show financial transfers made from Kirk's accounts to the woman at the center of the controversy. The figures weren't astronomical, but they were steady, recurring amounts that suggested more than a casual fling. Her calm delivery made the moment even more chilling. "This isn't just cheating," Rashida said, her voice low but firm. "This is betrayal on every level, emotional, financial, and personal." Fans watching later would freeze-frame the documents, attempting to verify dates, amounts, and bank details. The consistency of the alleged transfers added a weight to her claims that even Kirk, visibly shaken on camera, struggled to dismiss. But Rashida didn't stop there. In a startling twist, she hinted at holding a secret of her own. Looking straight into the camera, she declared, "Everybody thinks I'm the one being played, but maybe I've had my reasons for staying quiet all this time." The cryptic statement left cast members stunned and producers scrambling. Was she suggesting she too had been keeping something from Kirk? Or was it a strategic warning that she wasn't as powerless as she'd been portrayed? Before any clarification could surface, the cameras suddenly cut. The screen faded to black, and the episode ended, leaving audiences reeling. In true reality television fashion, the cliffhanger was designed to ignite speculation across every platform. Viewers were left with burning questions. What exactly is Rashida's secret? Will she finally walk away? Or is there another twist in this ongoing saga? And how will Kirk respond to allegations that go beyond infidelity into financial deception? The episode closed with a direct call to action. Fans were urged to comment, share theories, and tune in for the next explosive installment. By the time credits rolled, hashtags connected to the storyline were already trending, and Rashida's poised revelation had turned the scandal into something far larger than another cheating rumor. It had become a cultural moment, with the final word still hanging in suspense.